enters into circulation, heme is converted by heme oxygenase into biliverdin, and biliverdin is reduced to bilirubin by biliverdin reductase in the liver. So the source is broken RBC, and it is being matured in the liver. And definitely you know the bilirubin that is produced in the liver, initially it was unconjugated. Unconjugated bilirubin is water insoluble, rather lipid soluble and toxic. In the liver, it undergo conjugation with glucuronic acid by glucuronide transferase to form the conjugated bilirubin. This conjugated bilirubin is water soluble, lipid insoluble, can be excreted into the bile. Ultimately, some of it can be excreted in the stool. So this is jaundice. You know, there are three types of jaundice: pre-hepatic or hemolytic, hepatocellular or hepatic jaundice, and post-hepatic or obstructive jaundice. Definitely, you know, pre-hepatic or hemolytic jaundice, the main reason is early destruction of the RBC that leads to excess bilirubin load in the blood. And in pre-hepatic jaundice that result from hemolysis of the blood, a jaundice হয় due to excess presence of bilirubin. A bilirubin conjugated or unconjugated. So in hemolytic jaundice, there is excess load of unconjugated bilirubin. So bilirubin is usually unconjugated. Hepatocellular jaundice hole, there will be mixed pattern of jaundice, some conjugated and some are unconjugated. But in post-hepatic jaundice, up to the liver conjugation is all right. There is obstruction at the flow in the liver or outside the liver. So obstructive jaundice or post-hepatic jaundice is usually here bilirubin is conjugated. So by seeing the nature of the bilirubin, we can grossly predict what type of jaundice it might be, hemolytic or hepatocellular or obstructive. So as in the department of surgery or as a surgeon, we are mainly concerned about the obstructive jaundice. What is obstructive jaundice? You know, after conjugation of bilirubin, it is excreted into the bile canaliculi, and through the biliary channel, it will be excreted into the bile. So obstructive jaundice will be resulted from obstruction of this biliary outflow. So obstructive jaundice means the jaundice due to obstruction of the bile duct. This bile duct may be intrahepatic, may be extrahepatic. But further we know the obstruction in the intrahepatic biliary tree cannot be usually corrected by surgical means, but the obstruction outside the liver in the hepatic duct or common bile duct, that can be corrected by surgery. And that's why latter parts of this jaundice is called surgical jaundice. That can be corrected by operation. So obstructive jaundice and surgical jaundice is not 100% synonymous. Obstructive jaundice includes all of the causes of obstruction, whether in the liver or outside the liver. But surgical jaundice, obstruction is due to, or obstruction is outside the liver, the area where it can be corrected by some sort of surgical procedure. So this is surgical jaundice. now we can say there are common causes of obstructive jaundice or surgical jaundice. Common causes is already we have mentioned one of the very common cause, that is stone in the bile duct, or we call choledocholithiasis. So if there is formation of the stone in the bile duct, that is called choledocholithiasis, it produces obstructive jaundice. এটাও আমরা বলেছিলাম choledocholithiasis primary is 5%. 5% means the it is produced de novo in the bile duct, but in 95% cases it is migrated from the gallbladder to the bile duct. So however, the stone, if it is present in the bile duct, it can block the flow of the bile that leads to jaundice. So obstructive jaundice, one of the very important causes is choledocholithiasis. Second cause is malignant tumor. Malignant tumor in the pathway of excretion of the bile. Bile je পথে যাবে, that is right and left hepatic duct, common hepatic duct, common bile duct, pancreas, second part of the first part and second part of the duodenum. So if there is some mechanical problem at this area, there might be obstruction to the outflow. So malignant tumor in the form of carcinoma of the head of the pancreas, because you know common bile duct has 4 parts: supraduodenal part, infraduodenal part, retroduodenal part, and intraduodenal part. So the last part of the CBD passes through the duodenum and it shares with the pancreatic duct to open the second part of the duodenum. So if there is tumor at the head of the pancreas, the terminal part of the bile duct can be obstructed. Second one is cholangiocarcinoma, that is a malignant tumor involving the bile duct. That is also very common. Periampullary carcinoma, that is a special variety of carcinoma with that region that might affect one or more of the component around the ampulla of Vater, like head of the pancreas, terminal part of the bile duct, part of the duodenal wall. So any component, if it is affected by malignant tumor, it can obstruct the biliary channel. This is called periampullary carcinoma. Karon nobody can exactly explore where is the source or origin. Is it pancreas? Is it bile duct? Or is it duodenum? And that's why from the morphological point of view, it is called periampullary carcinoma. And lastly, secondary carcinoma of the porta hepatis, or if there is secondary tumor involving in any part of the bile duct, that might produces obstructive jaundice. So malignant tumor, head of the pancreas, cholangiocarcinoma, periampullary carcinoma, secondary carcinoma at the porta hepatis. Third causes is stricture, biliary stricture. Suppose because of operation, there might be narrowing of some parts of the bile duct. Because of stagnation of the stone for a prolonged time, there might be stricture or narrowing. Because of associated infection and inflammation, cholangitis, sclerosing cholangitis, that might lead to stricture. And in some of the genital disease like choledochal cyst or Caroli's disease, there might be biliary stricture. And lastly, biliary ascariasis, that is whenever the Ascaris lumbricoides roundworm enters from the small intestine through the ampulla of Vater into the common bile duct, and the worm become dead in the bile duct, producing a mechanical obstruction. So these 4 are common causes of obstructive jaundice, though there are some rare causes, less common causes. So less common causes are post-operative, like common bile duct injury or ligation, or if there is collection of the bile at the or around the CBD, sclerosing cholangitis, that is inflammation of the bile duct, congenital lesion, choledical cyst, Caroli's disease, and sometimes chronic pancreatitis. So these are also sometimes a responsible factor for obstructive jaundice, but the initial four has to be remembered always: cholelithiasis, malignant tumor, biliary stricture, and roundworm. A less common cause, postoperative inflammation, sclerosing cholangitis, congenital lesion like choledical cyst, Caroli's disease, and chronic pancreatitis. So these are the causes of obstructive jaundice. Now is the question how to evaluate or investigate a patient with obstructive jaundice. মানে হচ্ছে whenever a patient come to a doctor with obstructive jaundice, how we can proceed through the history examination and investigation for reaching to a particular diagnosis. So this diagnostic evaluation definitely started from the history. So in the history, we have to consider certain things that might be related to disease. One is age and sex of the individual. Suppose if the patient is a young girl or boy of 6 or 8, we have to think regarding the congenital problem. If the patient is adult, it might be cholelithiasis. If the patient age is old age, then there is possibly more possibilities of malignant tumor. So age and sex of the individual give some clue regarding the এটা উঠাই দেন তো এটা কি Second, we have to ask related to jaundice. The information regarding jaundice, if we carefully observe from the history, we can differentiate whether the jaundice is obstructive, hepatocellular, or hemolytic jaundice. Regarding jaundice, hello, শুনতে পাচ্ছ? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after considering the age and sex of the individual, we have to consider all the relevant points regarding jaundice. Its onset. Why there is noise? So regarding jaundice, its onset, duration, and progression. Suppose in hemolytic jaundice, onset develop very slowly. Duration, it persists for long time, like months or years together, and it progresses slowly, not associated with pain. So, but if jaundice is hepatocellular, it will be preceded by a prodromal period of fever, nausea, vomiting, anorexia, followed by development of jaundice that progressively increases and associated with fixed pain in the upper right abdomen. But jaundice with high color urine, clay color stool, and itching all over the body clinically indicate it is obstructive in nature. It may be painful, may not be painful. সুতরাং আমরা যদি দেখি jaundice, patient is presented with the jaundice for last few days to weeks. Color of the urine is very high colored. Color of the stool is clay colored, and there is itching all over the body. Then clinically we can say this is obstructive jaundice. And if it is painful, fluctuating, pain and jaundice is elevating and decreasing, that is fluctuating, then the possibilities is stone. But if the jaundice is painless and progressive, there is no pain and progressively increasing in depth, then it is most likely cause is tumor. So regarding jaundice, if we can explore these points, it is possible to ascertain clinically whether the jaundice is pre-hepatic, hepatic, or post-hepatic. Third is pain and fever, common in stone, but it is not common in tumors. Anorexia, weight loss, anemia, all these symptoms are common in malignant jaundice, not in stone diseases. Then we have to do the clinical examination. Clinical examination, general anemia indicate the severity. In stone disease, it is mild to moderate. That is usually bilirubin is less than 10 milligram per dl. But in tumor, the jaundice may be very deep, even bilirubin level more in malignancy, and specific features. In hemolytic jaundice, you know, all the features of hemolytic anemia, mongoloid faces, frontal bossing, retardation of the growth, the testicular development will be low, breast development will be less. So all these features in short indicate the hemophilia. In hepatocellular disease, in viral hepatitis, you will get the liver is enlarged and tender in addition to jaundice. But in chronic liver disease or cirrhosis of liver, you can get the stigmata of cirrhosis or chronic liver disease, like hepatic face, spider nevi, gynecomastia, testicular atrophy, palmar erythema. So one or more of these features, if it is present, it indicates probably you are dealing with a hepatocellular jaundice. And in obstructive jaundice, there is no specific sign, but in some cases, particularly in malignant disease, gallbladder may be palpable, and there might be scratch mark because of excess itching all over the body, more in the upper part. Abdomen examine করলে, in hemolytic anemia you get enlargement of the liver and spleen, hepatosplenomegaly. In hepatocellular jaundice, viral hepatitis এর ক্ষেত্রে you'll get only enlarged tender liver, but chronic liver disease এর ক্ষেত্রে you can get splenomegaly, ascites, caput medusa, like that. And in obstructive jaundice, liver may be enlarged and tender, gallbladder is palpable in tumor, and in malignancy there might be also a palpable lump in the abdomen. And after clinical evaluation, we have to do certain investigation. The most important one is liver function test. If we do the liver function test, it is possible to discriminate whether jaundice is hemolytic, hepatocellular, obstructive. Serum bilirubin is raised, SGPT, normal or raised, serum alkaline phosphatase, markedly raised in obstructive jaundice, prothrombin time may be raised, HbS is negative. That means if we do the liver function test in hemolytic jaundice, only bilirubin is raised. Otherwise, all other parameters are usually close to normal or within normal. In hepatocellular jaundice, bilirubin will be raised and intracellular enzyme SGOT, SGPT will be markedly raised, but serum alkaline phosphatase will be mildly raised. HbS may be positive. And in obstructive jaundice, in addition to raised bilirubin, intracellular enzyme will be maybe mildly raised, but serum alkaline phosphatase that is situated in the bile canal nuclei will be markedly raised more than 2.5 times. Prothrombin time will be prolonged or raised. So, observing carefully the liver function test, we can also assess regarding the type of the jaundice. আমরা যদি obstructive jaundice এর কথা চিন্তা করি, দেখব bilirubin level বেশি, alkaline phosphatase 2.5 times থেকেও বেশি, more than 100. SGOT, SGPT is usually towards normal, আর একটু বাড়লেও it is not more than 2.5 times. Prothrombin time will be prolonged. So, then it goes in favor of obstructive jaundice. Then we can do routinely ultrasonogram of hepatobiliary system and pancreas. It will demonstrate the liver morphology. It can tell us about the gallbladder, its size, wall, stone. It can gives information regarding bile duct. And also it can give information too about spleen. So in ultrasonogram, if it says liver is enlarged, spleen is enlarged, there is congestion, so it goes more in favor of hemolytic jaundice or hemolytic anemia. If it says liver is enlarged, there is prop tenderness, parenchyma is homogeneous, then it goes more in favor of viral hepatitis. If it says the liver is smaller, architecture become distorted, it become more fibrous, there is ascites, there is enlargement of the spleen, it indicates you are dealing with chronic liver disease with hepatocellular jaundice. But if it says there is presence of a stone in the bile duct, or bile duct is dilated, or there is presence of tumor in the head of the pancreas, bile duct, or in the area of the porta hepatis, then we can say this is probably obstructive jaundice. In case of obstructive jaundice, you know, if ultrasonogram is very much clean cut and says regarding the possibility of a stone, usually no further investigation is necessary. But if ultrasonogram is inconclusive or in suspicion of tumor or stricture, we have to primarily do a non-invasive cholangiogram, that is MRCP, magnetic resonance cholangiopancreatography. And further it can be evaluated if there is a problem in the lower part, ERCP, if problem is in the upper part, PTC. Sometimes in case of tumor, it is further evaluated by abdominal CT scan to see its area of involvement, its extension, condition of the other abdominal organ. Other investigation as a routine urine, blood, CBC, creatinine, sugar, electrolyte, X-ray chest. Now, After considering all these things, that is, considering history, physical examination, and investigation. So we are considering history, clinical examination, and liver function test. এই কয়টা করলেই you can get the answer whether it is hemolytic or hepatocellular or obstructive. Suppose from the history, clinical examination, and liver function test, we consider it is obstructive in nature. Then we have to do ultrasonogram. Ultrasonogram করলে it can diagnose stone, অথবা there is no stone or the problem is not identified. In that case, first we have to do MRCP. In MRCP, they can say condition of the biliary tree, the cause of obstruction. And further, if obstruction is in the lower part, we can do ERCP, or obstruction in the upper part, we can do PTC. And ultimately, if it is tumor, we can do CT scan to evaluate the extent of the spread of the tumor. So after diagnosis is made as either cholelithiasis or others, then we have to go for treatment. You know, in obstructive jaundice, there are some problem of operation without preparation. So before advocating treatment, we have to know this problem. আমরা যদি obstructive jaundice patiented preparation না নিয়ে operation করি, there is possibilities of some extra hazards. এর মধ্যে one of the common problem is increased bleeding tendency. Increased bleeding tendency কেন হয়? কারণ obstructive jaundice bile is not available in the intestine, এবং আমরা জানি bile salt is responsible for absorption of the fat soluble vitamin A, D, E, K. So A, D, E, K that cannot be absorbed from the terminal ileum. So there will be deficiency of vitamin K. So vitamin K dependent synthesis of the coagulation factor is impaired, and so there will be coagulation failure, and there is increased tendency of bleeding. Could you understand? Obstructive jaundice ক্ষেত্রে bile is not available in the intestine, bile salt is not available, so fat soluble vitamin including vitamin K cannot be absorbed, and in the liver vitamin K dependent synthesis of coagulation factor cannot be occurred, so impaired, so there will be failure of coagulation, and that's why there is increased tendency of bleeding. And this problem can be overcome if we give vitamin K for 3 to 5 days before operation. This deficiency can be corrected. Second problem is increased incidence of infection. কারণ because of congestion of the liver or impairment of the function of the liver cannot destroy gut-derived bacteria. And there is also leukocytic dysfunction, or leukocytic function is impaired. So due to these two factors, there is increased incidence of infection. আমরা সরাসরি we cannot improve the leukocytic function and liver function, but indirectly we can reduce the source of bacteria by preparation of the gut sterilizing antibiotic and laxative. So increase incidence of infection. Delayed wound healing. This is due to impaired fibroblastic function in jaundice. Hepatorenal syndrome, that is sudden development of acute renal failure in a pre-existing normal kidney due to liver disease. Patient যে jaundice থাকে, even kidney is normal, আমরা যদি অপারেশন করি কোনো কোনো ক্ষেত্রে patient suddenly develop acute renal failure. কেন হয় exactly it is not known, but it is presumed to be due to multiple factors. এর মধ্যে one of the factor is hypovolemia. Because of dehydration, because of vomiting, because of inadequate intake of water, there might be hypovolemia. Second is blockage of the renal tubule by bilirubin. Excess bilirubin can block the renal tubules. And third one is renal cortical ischemia by endotoxin that is derived from the bacteria, gut bacteria. It causes action onto the kidney, and that leads to liberation of some active factors that is responsible for ischemic changes in the kidney cortex. So due to all these factors, there is possibilities of development of acute renal failure, and this can be prevented by providing adequate hydration, by reducing bacterial count, by improving nutrition, all these things. Considering these facts, the extra problem in jaundice patient to operate, how can we treat this patient? Treatment, general treatment or preoperative preparation. Number one is hospitalization and bed rest. Patient has to be admitted. Mention the vitamin K1 10 milligram for 3 to 5 days for correction of the coagulopathy. Prophylactic antibiotic, ceftriaxone, metronidazole, or ciprofloxacin or gentamicin, so that we can destroy the gut-derived bacteria. The patient is advised to take plenty of water. If he or she cannot take, then we can introduce it through intravenous route. So well hydration, oral or IV fluid, এমন ভাবে করতে হবে যেন there is urine output more than 1 ml per minute. এছাড়াও to enhance the formation of the urine and urinary excretion, we routinely use injection mannitol 20%, 200, sometimes before operation, during operation, or after operation. It enhances the excretion of the bilirubin, and it ensures the adequate urine output to prevent the hepatorenal syndrome. So preparation is hospitalization, injection vitamin K1 to correct the coagulopathy, prophylactic antibiotic, plenty of glucose intake, well hydration, oral or parenteral, injection mannitol or osmotic diuretics to enhances the urinary output. আচ্ছা আরো 20 মিনিট আছে, ঠিক আছে। শুনতে পাচ্ছ? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So for preparation of operation in a jaundice patient, we need to take certain steps. correction of coagulopathy by vitamin K1, prophylactic antibiotic, plenty of glucose by mouth or intravenously, well hydration, and use of mannitol preoperatively and paraoperatively, sometimes postoperatively, according to degree of jaundice. If patient is severely jaundice, we give mannitol before operation, sometimes we continue during operation and thereafter. Mannitol দেওয়ার জন্য বুঝছো 20% mannitol দিতে হবে 200 ml in 20 minutes. কেন দিতে হবে এরকম? কে বলতে পারে? Why you have to give so rapidly 20% mannitol 200 ml in 20 minutes, not like other infusion slowly? So you have to give it rapidly. কেন? কে বলতে পারবে? Anybody? Any of you?
To ensure adequate urine output.
বলো। কেন we have to give this? কি বুঝি নাই? আচ্ছা যাই হোক, mannitol a special criteria, it is not metabolized, it is unchanged, and as soon as we introduce it into the IV channel, it increases the osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure বেড়ে গেলে there is increase in the filtration pressure, urine তৈরি হয় বেশি এবং it will be excreted unchanged in the urine. আমরা যদি slowly দেই, it will not effective to increase the osmotic pressure. So this is the preparation. Then এই কথা বলছো কে? So a specific treatment, definitely this is related to underlying cause. Number one key cause is choledocholithiasis, if there is a stone in the bile duct. So a traditional treatment is open choledocholithotomy and cholecystectomy. This is an old traditional treatment. That is, after opening up the abdomen, we have to open the bile duct and remove the stone. At the same time, we have to do the cholecystectomy. Second option is second option is laparoscopic cholecystectomy and bile duct exploration. That is, laparoscopically, bile duct has to be explored and removal of the stone. At the same time, gallbladder has to be removed. So this is a total laparoscopic procedure. And thirdly, that is most convenient and most practiced one, is first ERCP stone extraction. Bile duct stone প্রথম ERCP করে বের করে ফেলবো, followed by 1 সপ্তাহ 2 সপ্তাহ পরে laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So this is the traditional treatment for choledocholithiasis. Second, if it is malignant tumor হলে, if it is early stage, that is disease confined to the biliary tree or head of the pancreas, we can do radical pancreaticoduodenectomy with restoration of the anatomical continuity of the bile duct, pancreatic duct, and intestine. That is called Whipple's operation. আর যদি অ্যাডভান্স হয়, সেক্ষেত্রে we can only do the palliative operation, palliative cholecystojejunostomy. That is, we can make an anastomosis between the gallbladder and jejunum so that bile can pass, bypassing the obstruction. Or sometimes a stent can be inserted through ERCP to palliate the jaundice for symptomatic relief. If it is due to roundworm, sometimes we treat this patient on the medical point of view, antispasmodic drug, antibiotic, anti-helminthic drug. Many of the times the roundworm will be expelled into the intestine and can be excreted. If it is not, then surgical treatment is CBD exploration and removal of the roundworm. If there is CBD stricture, then endoscopic papillotomy, that is papilla has to be enlarged in size. Sometimes we can do a bypass operation, that is we have to make anastomosis between bile duct and duodenum, choledochoduodenostomy or choledochojejenostomy. So these are the common surgical treatment. If it is due to stone, treatment is cholecystectomy and choledocholecystectomy or laparoscopic cholecystectomy with bile duct exploration or ERCP extraction of the bile duct stone followed by laparoscopic cholecystectomy. If it is malignant tumor in early stage, curative resection in the form of radical pancreaticoduodenectomy, that is Whipple's operation. If it is advanced, palliative treatment, either biliary stenting or biliary bypass. If it is roundworm, medical treatment. If medical treatment fail, surgical treatment, CBD exploration and removal. If it is stricture, endoscopic treatment, that is endoscopic papillotomy, sometimes biliary bypass, choledochoduodenostomy or choledochojejunostomy. That is an example of endoscopic sphincterotomy and extraction of the stone. This is endoscopic instrument, and the sphincter is cutting and the stone is holding and extracting. And previously আমরা বলেছি এই রেডিক্যাল প্যানক্রিয়াটোডিওডেনেক্টমি, এক্ষেত্রে আমরা in mass head of the pancreas, related part of the duodenum, the related part of the pancreatic duct and some parts of the common bile duct is excised en bloc, ফেলে দেওয়া হয়, and then continuity is maintained either by choledochojejunostomy, pancreaticojejunostomy and gastrojejunostomy. By triple other anastomosis, continuity has to be maintained. এটা আমরা কেটে ফেলার পর বাইল ডাক্টের সঙ্গে জেজুনামের অ্যানাস্টোমোসিস করলাম, প্যানক্রিয়াটিক ডাক্টের সঙ্গে জেজুনামের অ্যানাস্টোমোসিস, স্টমাকের সঙ্গে জেজুনামের অ্যানাস্টোমোসিস. So after Whipple's operation, we need to reconstruct maintaining anatomical continuity by doing choledochojejunostomy, pancreaticojejunostomy and gastrojejunostomy. This is a very extensive procedure. Mortality is high and can in the early stage. So this is all about obstructive jaundice. Any question from you? কোনো question আছে? আচ্ছা, আমি এর আগে আরেকটা বিষয় বলি যে whenever we do bile duct exploration like choledocholitheotomy, আমরা সাধারণত we does not close the bile duct, rather we insert a T-tube. With T-tube we close the bile duct. এটা কেন কি জানো? কেউ বলতে পারবা? Anybody? That is, এটা in general, এটা চিন্তা করো, এটা দেখলে this is the T-tube, this is T-tube and this is the bile duct. So after exploration of the bile duct, suppose taking of the stone, it is not simply closed. Rather, we introduce a T-tube, T-shaped tube. A short arm is within the bile duct, long arm is taken out through a stab wound in the abdomen. This is called T-tube. Can anybody say why we introduce T-tube after bile duct exploration? কেন? Roll number 1. বলো তো?
স্যার স্যার কথা কেটে কেটে আসছিল স্যার।
আচ্ছা, আমি বলছি আমরা কলিডোকোলিথোটমি অথবা বাইল ডাক্ট এক্সপ্লোর করলেই সরাসরি বাইল ডাক্টকে বন্ধ না করে we close it inserting a T-tube. That is a routine. Why? কেন আমরা T-tube ঢুকাই?
Sir, to prevent collapse of the bile duct after removal of the stone.
Sir, drainage of bile.
আসলে দেখা গেছে যে whenever we remove the stone from the common bile duct, it needs some manipulation. Manipulation করলেই it induces trauma. Trauma leads to inflammation. Inflammation might be responsible for edema, and there is blockage of the terminal part of the bile duct at least for few days. এরকম যদি হয়, if we open the bile duct in the middle, because the bile cannot be freely drained downwards, it will leak through the repaired part and it might produces biliary peritonitis. So to prevent biliary peritonitis or bile leakage, we introduce T-tube. After 7 days to 2 weeks, when inflammation will be subsided, T-tube can be taken out after forming a tract around the T-tube, and it will be spontaneously heal up. ঠিক আছে? বুঝতে পারছো?
Yes, sir.
এখন আরেকটা প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে এই T-tube ঢোকানোর পরে how we are going to manage it. তাহলে আমরা T-tube দিলাম after exploration to prevent the leakage of bile and biliary peritonitis. এইটা এখন ম্যানেজমেন্ট তোমরা জানো, if T-tube is inserted, we observe almost without doing an extra thing up to 7 days or up to the point when the jaundice will be significantly reduced. যখন জন্ডিস কমে গেল অথবা 7 দিন হয়ে গেল, 7 দিন পর থেকে we started intermittent clamping. Intermittent clamping means outer part of the tube is clamped, not allowing the bile to drain outside, rather it is encouraged to flow downwards. একবারে করা হয় না, কারণ বাইল ডাক্টকে অ্যাকোমোডেট করানোর জন্য ফার্স্ট ডে 1 hour, সেকেন্ড ডে 2 hour, থার্ড ডে 4 hour, এইভাবে আস্তে আস্তে on the 7th day 24 hours. First day 1 hour means 1 hour has to be clamped, 1 hour remain open. Second day 2 hours means 2 ঘন্টা বন্ধ, 2 ঘন্টা খোলা, এইভাবে 24 ঘন্টা চলবে। এইভাবে 7 দিন পর, that is total 14 দিন পর আমরা ক্ল্যাম্প করে রাখবো for 24 hours, এবং ক্ল্যাম্প করার সময় দেখবো whether there is pain, vomiting, fever on jaundice, and amount of bile collected in the bag. If it is seen that there is no development of this symptom and progressively bile collected in the bag is reduced, then we can do a T-tube cholangiogram, and after that if it is normal, it can be removed by slow sustained traction. আজ যদি দেখি after clamping there is development of pain, jaundice or vomiting, then we have to ascertain whether there is a block or not. আমরা তখন T-tube cholangiogram করে we try to understand that biliary channel is all right or there is some block. If there is block, we have to correct this block before removing the T-tube. So I am ending here today. তোমাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন আছে কিনা? Any question regarding today's topics? Any question? একজন বলো তো ক্লিনিক্যালি অবস্ট্রাকটিভ জন্ডিস আমি বুঝবো কি করে? রোল নাম্বার 15 আছে? রোল নাম্বার 15,
স্যার 15 নাই স্যার।
20?
Sir,
বলো তো how you can establish clinically that you are dealing a patient with obstructive jaundice? কি করে বুঝবা?
sir, jaundice with high color urine.
So এক নাম্বার জন্ডিস, পেশেন্টের জন্ডিস থাকবে moderate to severe, maybe fluctuating, maybe progressive. Second is color of the urine is high colored, color of the stool is clay colored, and there will be marked itching all over the body. Abdomen examine করলে you can get palpable gallbladder or a lump in the right hypochondria. Roll number 50, 50 ke 50. Roll number 30. Nine 39.
Yes,
Roll
sir.
number, তুমি বলো how liver function test can help you to make the diagnosis as obstructive jaundice? তুমি liver function test তোমাকে কিভাবে হেল্প করবে?
জি স্যার। স্যার serum bilirubin rise থাকবে, in case থাকবে serum bilirubin, then SGPT।
বিলিরুবিনটা কি ধরনের হবে? ইউজুয়ালি
স্যার বেশি
conjugated,
থাকবে, rise।
conjugated bilirubin, conjugated hyperbilirubinemia. So number 1. Second,
স্যার serum
alkaline
and
phosphatase markedly
জি, জি।
raised more than 2.5 times. SGOT, SGPT
স্যার এটা normal or slightly rise থাকবে।
slightly raised. প্রথম বিন টাইম
স্যার এটা rise থাকবে স্যার
prolonged.
14 to
হ্যাঁ,
18
ঠিক আছে।
থাকবে।
সো এইভাবে আমরা বুঝতে পারি যে উই আর ডিলিং উইথ দ্য অবস্ট্রাকটিভ জন্ডিস। আল্ট্রাসোনোগ্রাম করে যে দেখি যে দেয়ার ইজ স্টোন, নো ফার্দার ইনভেস্টিগেশন ইউজুয়ালি নেসেসারি। কিন্তু বললো আল্ট্রাসোনোগ্রাম বাইল ডাক্ট ইজ ডাইলেটেড, বাট কি কারণে ডাইলেটেড এটা বোঝা যাচ্ছে না, তখন কোন ইনভেস্টিগেশন করবা? এমআরসিপি, এমআরসিপি করে দেখবো, বাইল ডাক্টটা দেখবো, অবস্ট্রাকশন কোথায় দেখবো এবং নেচারটা বোঝার চেষ্টা করব। If it cannot be possible to have a clear idea, then it can be supplemented by ERCP. এবং টিউমার যদি হয়, through ERCP we can take tissue for biopsy, and finally we can do CT scan if it is malignant. ঠিক আছে? So
Yes,
okay,
sir.
thank you. তোমরা ভালো
Thank
থাকো।
you, sir.
Thank you. Percentage